Thing at this point, do I not? If I don't say something at this point, I might as well not be here. Oh, by the way, I want to show you guys something. No, it's not the cleanliness of my hands. No, that's not it. It's not the dirtiness of my hands. You know what it is? It's the work these motherfuckers put in. You see, we had all these talks about, like, whether or not you should drive a car, you're driving into the ground, or whether or not, you could change your own tire, do your own oil change an alternator or starter, as our beloved fucking Sin Cities did a video on. Like, oh my God, dude, really? Oh my God. You're making so much fucking money off being a sponsor for all the bullshit in the corporate world. Like, you gotta change your own fucking alternator? Why the fuck? Who the fuck paid you to change your own alternator, by the way? And why is it that his hands ain't dirty? Let me tell you something. My dad, my pop, may he rest in peace. My dad was a mechanic his whole fucking life. All of it. The whole way. Started around 16, 14, something like that. I never knew how to work on a car. But something about that amazed me. All these other people complained about, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do that. We didn't have no YouTube, we didn't have no Google. Man, you couldn't fix your car, you were out. You had to fix your own shit, you were out if you didn't know how to do it. You had to pay a mechanic to do it, that overpriced shit that fucks up the middle class. Even though those mechanics are technically in the middle class, it still fucks you up and you get $800 bill for a fucking starter on certain cars. I took a lot of pride in the fact that my dad saved my ass a lot, many times, showing me how to get shit done on a car when I couldn't afford to do it myself. So that's what I love about Pedro and Hannibal making fun of my dirty hands. The ones that know how to change a fucking tire, a starter, an alternator, do some fuel injectors, take off a throttle body. Man, please. You gonna make fun of a brother's hands because they're dirty, knowing good goddamn and well that these motherfuckers gotta do their own work in order to be able to make a living? I told you all this before. If you can't work on your own car, you shouldn't be doing this shit unless you padded hard in the bank. If you padded hard in the bank off of YouTube, Google AdSense, and you got all that money rolling in with that pretty ass fucking microphone, that flowing fucking hair, fucking Beyonce Pedro and fucking Wesley Snipes of the fucking Hannibal, give me a goddamn break. How many more glamorous shots do we gotta see you two motherfuckers do making fun of the real workers on this goddamn platform? How many more times we gotta see that shit? You gonna make fun of a motherfucker's hands? Well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna make fun of them. If you can't work on your own car and you're gonna make fun of a motherfucker that can, that's on you, brother. That just goes along with Glitchgate. Y'all couldn't handle the app the way it was, so you cheated the motherfucker. You see, we're working the motherfucker for the real. And on top of that, we fixing our own shit, some of us. I'm one of them. So yeah, you see a little bit of fucking dirt in my hands and shit once in a while. You know what that means? That means I'm fucking working, bro. That means I got game. That means I backed my shit up. What have you backed up? The only dirt on your hands is when you stick them up Pedro's ass. We all know that he's got triple the fucking views that you do. And what does that tell us? That tells us that the channel was made a year ago, according to YouTube. I had to tell somebody about this. I was like, I don't give a fuck if it was 20 years ago. What the fuck does that got to do with Ruby Tuesday? The fact is that they're just now pumping that fucking channel up, and the only thing that they're doing with it is making fun of the middle class. I'm sorry, brothers, but I'm a middle class motherfucker. Apparently they ain't. 860 banking on a house. Fucking Hannibal's trying to get that fucking house from Pedro's views. These two fucking sellouts are making me fucking... Here's what they're making me want to do. I want to pull that starter off my car, get my hands as dirty as they can, and just fucking throw it at Hannibal. Just fucking slap him in the face with a greasy starter. That motherfucker doesn't even know what work is. When was the last time his fucking clean hands were behind the steering wheel? When was the last time Pedro said anything positive about the middle class? Only time I've ever heard it was, as long as you throw me a subscriber and a view and you fucking buy solo or fucking duh, then I'm good with you. But man, you come out here and you talk about Glitchgate, the very fucking thing that started all this, where we found out those motherfuckers weren't actually working for a living other than AdSense. I'm like, how much respect do you think you motherfuckers are gonna get for that bullshit? I'll tell you right now how much you're gonna get from me. Fucking donut zero. A big old goddamn circle with a fucking bow tie on the top. That shit fucks my wig up. You're going to talk about a man's hands. You're going to talk about his car. You're going to talk about his content. When the motherfuckers, you guys cannot relate. It's not us, it's you. Hannibal and Pedro cannot relate. They are no longer relating to this community. They're relating to trolls. They're relating to cash. That's fine if that's your plight. If you want to follow that, head the fuck on over to that goddamn train wreck. The rest of us are sitting here in real London going, haven't we just explained to you that they've been lying to us the whole goddamn time and fucking glorifying it with some bullshit with a fucking channel that's a year old that they just now popped out on us in this big fucking way where they're gonna start getting paid? So I guess that means they don't have to do their own oil changes. They don't have to change their own tires. Rip that AAA up, fucking Pedro. Oh, wait a minute, that's a good. You don't drive anymore, do you? Or do you? Have you? Or are you just trying to get a bigger microphone so that your fucking small mic can be heard out of that big mouth? I'll be honest with you, bro. I wish you would break the wattage a little bit louder, because all you're doing right now is making a scene on fucking stupidity for the win. Every time I see that shit, it makes me sick. You know, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna stop you? Well, fuck no. I hope you don't stop. You're giving me a reason to be here. I'll tell you what. I'll take all 10 of these fucking dirty fingers and put them up against your fucking lying mouth any day. Any man that tells me that a man with dirty hands is a fucking miserable human being is a piece of fucking shit. You fucking prick. Every man I've ever known in my life with dirty hands means he's working. He's hands-on, brother. He's got game. He knows how to get shit done. He takes care of his family. He does things right. That's the world I grew up in. I don't know what world this is you're living in, Pedro. But it's some kind of goddamn world where you got to be clean and nasty at the same time. You got clean fingers, but you a nasty motherfucker, man. You disgusting. You disgust the fuck out of me and a lot of people. That shit will not pass. Hannibal ain't helping you, by the way. That man right there went from 0 to 60 on the ugly scale overnight because of you. You haven't proved the goddamn point about the goddamn community. What you've done is proven one thing. Ever since you lost your AdSense, ever since you lost that, you went fucking MA-17 on the stupidity scale, busting all the balls of the middle class that are actually out there trying to figure out how to make their life work, how to get their finances together. And they were looking at you some fucking year ago, some 6 months ago, 2 weeks ago. And what happened to them? They found out that you played them? That you were a part of the game that played them? Let's not forget this. Jeff Thomas Black pulled it out of his back pocket and fucking showed it to everybody. DoorDash is a game. All the gig apps are a game. And Pedro supported the game. That makes him guilty as fuck in my book. I'd give a fuck about a judge, a lawyer, FBI, none of that bullshit. What pisses me off is he's playing it off like, well, let's pick on somebody's dirty ass hands. Knowing full goddamn well where those dirty hands came from. They came from work. My brother. They came from hard work. They came from not having the fucking money to put that goddamn car in the garage every goddamn 10 seconds being a gig worker. That shit came from the real. Man, I ain't got all the goddamn Agent Orange. I ain't got all the fucking Dawn liquid in the world. My hands get a little bit dirty once in a while. That tells you one thing. I'm real, Pedro. Go back to your manicurist and tell them something for me. They did a great job. You so busy getting manicures and speaking to a big microphone and sucking Hannibal's dick for God knows what reason. I guess he's the only one that's going to support you now. You've spent so much time doing that, you forgot the cause. The middle class got to bust their ass. Something I think you forgot about. The middle class got to pay these bills that get bigger and bigger and bigger. And while we fixing our own cars, while we complaining about we can't afford to go to a garage and have somebody else do it for us like you do, Pedro. Oh, just buy a brand new car. Well, how the fuck you gonna buy a brand new car if you can't even afford a fucking starter? What the fuck was your point, Pedro? You know what? I'm proud to have dirty hands. You little bitch. You know what those dirty hands represent? The hard-working middle class, you fucknut. And that's one thing that you've been disrespecting for a long time. While you was making that fucking 860, we were out here sweating in the fucking streets, looking stupid to you, while you were getting paid for doing nothing but fucking talking and lying. I'll guarantee tell you this much. A financial advisor you are not, Pedro, but I'll tell you one thing that you are. You are the biggest shitstorm I've ever seen. Your logic, your facts have no place in my world. And from what I've seen, nobody else is either on my side of the fence. Our grass is getting greener. Dude, you got fucking hay. That's just going to spontaneously combust on your nutsack. Let me guess, you weave that too. You got all this fucking money. You ain't got to worry about dashing anymore. You and Pedro, you need a fucking blunt. Don't talk about chemical dependency to me. You know how many people in this world got chemical dependency? They fucking depend on shit like that. You gonna make fun of that too? So what are you doing? Knocking everybody in the middle class, or is it just me, Pedro? Is it every single person in the middle class with dependency problem? Last time I checked, that wasn't a joke. That wasn't something to be having fun with. Maybe you should give those motherfuckers some love. Hell, even Lisa Shirley gave me some love. Hell, she even did. She makes fun of me every goddamn day for drinking and smoking. And then she tells her people, it's like, this motherfucker got problems, but he makes me feel better about drinking and smoking. It's like, well, that was never my fucking point. My point was, I'm a drinker, I'm a smoker, and I'm a gig worker, and I'm paying my bills. Y'all can kiss my fucking dick. I mean, just kiss it straight on the fucking one eye. I can't stand a motherfucker that sits up there with the fucking glamour shots from Sears, telling everybody else how fucking wrong they are, because they called him out when he says something like, this bullshit that I'm about to tell you. Y'all motherfuckers are dirty, you're chemical dependent, you're socially retarded, and you have no game. Because you don't roll like me and Hannibal? Well, what the fuck have you and Hannibal done for us lately? Besides spew bullshit at MA17 because you guys are trying to start some kind of a fucking new trend where two are better than one together? I got news for you. Have you seen this community explode? There's a shit ton of us. It used to be me and a few others. Now there's a fucking nasty fucking beehive stinging your ass, Pedro. There's no goddamn wonder you're crying. Dude, I take high offense to it. I really do. You want to make me mad, you made me mad. How dare you make fun of a man with dirty hands, working his ass off trying to fix his own shit. How dare you make fun of a man's clothes because they're not up to your standards because they're dirty? Motherfucker, 95-degree day is going to make you It's going to make you dirty when you're sweating your balls off. And that fucking dust from the street comes up and hits you. You got to pop open your fucking hood to get those battery cables right because they're too loose. And you ain't spending $60 putting new battery cables on it. You're just trying to get through the fucking day. And Pedro's going to have to laugh at that. He's going to have something to say about that, make us look stupid because we got dirty hands and a dirty shirt. It's called work, bro. That's work. That's 9 to 5 shit. That ain't this fucking microphone. We're going to fucking ring around the posy with fucking Pedro and Hannibal and sing and dance about how great we are. Why, we ain't even working? Pedro and Hannibal don't even work no more. Their new claim to fame is fucking telling you guys how much everybody else sucks. Really? Are you fucking serious right now? That's their claim to fame, is telling everybody else how much they suck. Dude, I was halfway goddamn near a 12-pack on my hands. I just gonna wash it for Pedro and beer. I was gonna do a fucking double slam. I was gonna put him over the fucking ropes and let him just lick up his own blood off the fucking floor. But I think I've made my point. My point is clear. It always has been clear. I don't fucking play games. I don't even give a fuck how clean he is. The only thing about him that's clean is the fact that he knows how to use editing. That don't make him right. And it sure the fuck don't make him a gig worker. What it does make him is full of shit and a prick. How dare you make fun of the middle class for being dirty, man? How fucking dare you? Half the fucking videos I made were after gig work. A few beers in me. I take my shower afterwards. You know why? I need to get to this shit while it's fresh. I don't sit around and fucking script shit. I'm uncensored, unedited. I don't give a fuck what you think about me, Pedro. And Hannibal, you're even worse. You don't even fucking rate. Pedro's getting a little respect because he did rate. And now his rate is almost gone. Motherfucker starts making fun of the middle class, though. That pisses me off, dude. No fucking end. The middle class supports this fucking economy. I guess Pedro forgot about that. Without us, Pedro ain't got no channel. We built this channel, the middle class. That's why we're here. If we were high rollers, we wouldn't even watch Pedro. We came into this goddamn community trying to learn something, figure something out, trying to understand how to make money. And then we find out that we're lied to. We exposed his ass for it. All he could do is make fun of my dirty fucking hands for working on my car, doing my own yard work, having a fucking bad day with no air conditioning. I ain't spending no fucking $800 on an air compressor and a recharge and the fucking rental tools to do it myself. Fucking summer's almost over. I got better things to do with that money. I got Christmas coming up, bro. I got all kinds of bills that need. My fucking electric bills, they call it 20% higher. Fuck that, 70% higher. I went from $2 to $5. $2 to $500 a fucking month. You gonna worry about my fucking hands? Why don't you worry about your fucking morals, Pedro? You do realize that you're bitching at the middle class, the very motherfuckers that have been feeding you for 2 years. You might want to put yourself in check on that bullshit, that nonsense, and that ever-loving smile on your smirky-ass little bitch fucking prick face that pisses me off every time I see it. I thank God every day for DoorDash sucks, Brian. I thank God every day for Jeff Thomas Black, and I thank God every day for Thomas Schubeck Industries. That are the real people, man. Those are the real motherfuckers that sweat this shit out in the streets or are complaining and you're not listening to it. You got better things to do, don't you? And what is that better thing that you've been doing? You're making fun of them because you don't like what they said? How about trying to say, I literally can feel your pain because I've been there. Well, get Pedro, you ain't been there. You've been too busy collecting your money off of AdSense. You've been too busy trying to find new boys with AdSense, trying to make your plight make sense. Dude, you're preaching to the choir, man. We already know how life works. We don't need your fucking expertise on AdSense. That's the only reason that you got anything is because of AdSense. If it wasn't for AdSense, you'd be shit. And now you are shit because you ain't got AdSense. That channel that you got with Hannibal, you know how much sense that makes to me? All the sense in the world. That's a last fucking straw for YouTube. You guys know that you failed. And you can always tell when somebody fails because they pick out the little tiny things. Dirty hands, politics, sex, drugs, alcohol. Man, that's the main fucking theme of the middle class. Who the fuck are you kidding with that bullshit? You think you're picking on me by saying I got dirty hands and a chemical dependency? Dude, you're not just talking to me. When you do that, you're talking to the widespread goddamn middle class. The very ones that have been feeding you fuck shit. You donkey dick. Well, that's Torp Turbulence number 6. And for those of you who are real Linda, there's gonna be a number 7. I feel much better now. Happy Labor Day weekend to all the motherfuckers in there in the trenches that are still taking it up the ass from the government with their labor. Something Pedro and Hannibal absolutely know nothing about anymore. Torp out.